everybody. I'm Jesse from the Pinkerton area, Durham, North Carolina. Mama talks to God for hours before the morning sun can rise. Hippocrates and Solomon trying to save that baby's life in this age of information. The informed done lost control. We ain't ever seen such sickness, and death knocks down the people's door. Our thoughts and prayers flew to the sky. We don't know where they fell. The banks ran out of pennies. Someone check the wishing well. Ooh. Boy, can you give me some more of that kick in the... Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Ooh. And the faithful keep on praying to the silicone we made. That little box got answers to the questions that it gave us. Tell it where we wanna go. It takes us where it leads, to the depths of our desires, but never where we need. Our thoughts and prayers flew to the sky. We don't know where they fell. The banks ran out of pennies. Someone check the wishing wells. Ooh, those coins are in the wishing wells. Let's wade into the wishing wells and wash away each other's cares. Splash in the holy water. Drink our fill and share. Let's wade into the wishing well. Wash away each other's cares. And splash in the holy water. Drink our fill and share. Ooh. Thanks so much, everybody. You're going to hear a lot tonight about caring for ourselves and caring for each other. Sometimes I don't know what else we've got that we can trust in, but in caring for one another. There's another song about that. I've had the great privilege of making now what will be 3 records with my dear friend David Wimbish. He's been my producer going back about 7 or 8 years, and we just finished the third record together. And this next one is one of the first singles that has come out from that record. It's called The Village. There's a village on a mountain high, whose walls are arms of love. They're guarded by a hero thronging. The creatures dare not come. The bulls run through the city streets. They're trampling roses and seeing red. And all these waving flags just feed their rage. It's a mad disease of fear. And the herd stampedes right off a cliff. We escape by narrow trails to a village on a mountain high, whose walls are arms of love. They're guarded by a hero thronging. The creatures dare not come. And the bears are sleeping in their caves with their hibernating appetites, and they hunger for what we have raised. Those bears wanna eat our young unless we climb to higher ground, where those monsters have no power. In the village on a mountain high, whose walls are arms of love. They're guarded by a hero throng, and the creatures dare not come. Now the creatures dare not come. The bulls will rage and the bears will roar, and we will stand our ground. The villagers surrender not. Their arms are bound as one. In the village on the mountain high, whose walls are arms of love. They're guarded by a hero throng, and the creatures dare not come. To the village on a mountain high, whose walls are arms of love. They're guarded by a hero throng, and the creatures dare not come. Nah, the creatures dare not come. Creatures dare not come. Creatures dare not come. Thanks so much, everybody. What's the appetite out there for a Neil Young heartbroken protest song? Can we handle that? Can we handle a little Neil Young type of fire? Because I can bring the Neil Young fire, but not everybody can handle that, so I gotta check in.
It's a good time to protest.
That's what I think. All right. Did anybody see see the Saturday Night Live skit with the mom sort of trying half-heartedly to apologize to her kids about how she voted? It was painful. It was painful in that all my friends could relate to it so incredibly well. And I have really struggled with having been raised by the hippie generation, and I'm not just talking about my parents, but lots of people in the hippie generation who seem to have held on to the radical individualism of the values of that era, but a lot have given up the sense of deep responsibility and community and love for people who are hurting. And I feel like their music taught me that, and this is a tribute to a lot of my heroes, my musical heroes. Bobby sang to the mothers and fathers and their wisdom. They just can't understand. Here we are again, changing times, criticize, spreading lies, anything. But lend your hand, and them Buffalo boys, they rang out a warning. Quit resisting your children, 'cause they're speaking their minds. Their voices are bells, echo loud, holy choir, don't provoke the babies that you love. And you wake up 50 years gone by, all the protest songs are about you, and our mothers cried, the dreamers died, and you thought this fight was about you. Ah, but la 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 la. You keep singing with Neil about Nixon soldiers, but you got nothing to say about poor Miss Good. It's St. John's revival. Raise your hands, make a fist, punching down, anointed, the fortunate one. And you wake up 50 years gone by, all the protest songs are about you. Our mothers cried, the dreamers died. You thought this fight was about you. Well, 50 years past now. We are the fathers, and our children gonna teach us more than they learn. Mother's tears, water, souls, dreamers' blood. In the soil is the seed that will reconceive the earth. 'Cause you wake up 50 years gone the mothers and fathers and their wisdom. They just can't understand. Thanks so much, everybody. But I'm going to see some real dear friends of mine up in Minneapolis tomorrow night. And I wrote it for them. We're all grown men, like pushing 50, and it's hard to admit when things hurt. And I mean, obviously, you know, knees hurt, shoulders hurt, but I'm talking about hearts. I'm talking about hearts hurting. And this comes from a moment out in the Rocky Mountain National Forest, 45 minutes from running water, where we found some honesty. A particular friend of mine had been hurting for years, pretty big things in his life, and he'd never talked to any of us, his best friends, about it. We found a way to talk about it. This one's called "The Fire Lets the Light In." You trace the trails between the stars until you lost the light. Your voice, a fallen angel, whispering to a vacant sky. A hero's journey, lonely trail, so why not walk with us a while? We may not find the way back home, but there's a flicker in our eyes. Tonight, we need a lightning strike to burn the walls between us. Fire makes the way for light, sets you free to love. Watching, but you don't see their staring eyes. The only time is now, my friend. The song is everything tonight. The free ones journey lonely trails, so we'll dance with you a while. Those healers couldn't heal your head. Your eyes see only light. Tonight we need a lightning strike to burn the walls between us. The fire makes the way for light and sets you free to love. I had to climb a mountain high to open up the sky. I had to hide the lonely trail to open wide my eyes. And from the heights, I see myself. I'm walking with the ones I love. I take them in my feeble arms and I bear them up above. 'Cause tonight we need a lightning strike to burn the walls between us. The fire and makes a way for light and sets you free to love. Tonight we need a lightning strike to burn the walls between us. The fire makes the way for light and sets you free to love. kids. Realizing it's been real tough to grow up in the past 25 years on this planet and in this country. She was born in the springtime of 2000. Crawled through the wreckage on the screen every night. She wandered with strangers, just like the world was gonna end. There ain't nothing to fear for, and there's nothing to win. She was a child when those towers did crumble. Yeah, she was a child when that levee did break. She was a child when the banks went under, and them bald-faced bandits did steal her joy. He was born in the summer of 2004. I held him up to the sky when those waters did rise. The rooms people lived in, they were flooding and drowning. The dreams that they lived in, drowning just the same. She was a child when the towers did crumble. He was a child when that levee did break. He was a child when the banks went under. And them bald-faced bandits did steal his joy. They came of age in the deserting days, the old folks gasping and grasping for air. Their sages betrayed them and wagered the farm on the thoughts of the prophets and prayer. They were the children when the towers did crumble. They were the children when that levee did break. They were the children when the banks went under. And the bald-faced bandits did steal their joy. We gotta face down them bandits and take back the joy. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm going to tell you a story, but it's going to be one of two stories, so you're going to pick which one. Does anybody have a particular connection to Durham, North Carolina, where I live, or Asheville, North Carolina, about 3 hours to my west? What's the vote?
Durham.
Durham. I heard a strong Nomination for Durham. So, in a very leftist liberal enclave such as Durham, North Carolina, where I live, which I willfully chose to live in, and I'm happy to be there. I am a landlord, which is not a particularly cool thing to be in Durham, North Carolina. And if you think back to COVID, I don't know if any of you had experiences with rent strikes, but we had rent strikes in Durham. My neighborhood is a lot of rental property. I have a 2-family next to my house, which I bought 15 years ago or something, and it's why I can come on the road and not feel like a deadbeat dad. So I'm grateful for that income, very grateful for it. But there are just a few big rental companies that have a reputation for not taking care of their buildings, and then COVID rolls around, people lose their jobs, and they're saying, why are you getting paid and none of us are getting paid? How can we talk about this? And a lot of them didn't want to talk about it, of course, and so the tenants started marching, and it was actually cars. They would do a parade of vehicles, and then they'd shout and blow kazoos and make a lot of noise. I just happened to live on their route and my rental property, and I don't even think they knew that it was a rental house that I happen to own, but there's a stop sign right in front of my house, so it gets louder because there's a stop sign right. They have to stop, but they're making a lot of noise. The second due date for rent rolled around, May 1st, right? April 1st, I remembered it happening, and I thought, oh, that feels important, and it's interesting, and it's like being in my peculiar position, being an artist who tries to look at the world with a lot of compassion for people who are suffering, and also, my kids have depending on rental income. It's sort of a confusing place to be. Of course, I had a little, hurt when I'm saying, well, they're not thinking about all of us. I'm just the guy who mows the lawn and fixes the pipes and they're leaking, Anyway, May 1st, lots of noise at the stop sign, and then they move on, and immediately I hear the little Venmo cash register go off on my phone, and it was my rent coming in from next door, and I said, hey, Jake, thanks, I got your rent. He's like, yeah, I forgot until I heard the rent strikers out front. So that feels like the kind of complexity that we're all living with, and it'd be nice if the internet allowed us to see things with such nuance. This one's called We Tremble with the Noise. It goes like this. There's a mob outside the lobby, and they're screaming, fire, gentrifiers. And the manager, with his mocha skin, he shows us out the secret door. And he says, I'm just trying to do my job, but my friends, they shout me down. They built this place when we were kids. So who's gonna stop it now? And I know you wanna help me, but you can't hear my voice, 'cause you're shouting down the other side, and we tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. It's the 1st of May, 2020, and I'm a craftsman on a crew. My neighbor holds the mortgage, and my rent is coming due. And the tenants, They are striking. They're honking, shouting in the streets. Their alarm is a reminder of the debt I have to meet. 'Cause I know that you want to help me, but you can't hear my voice. 'Cause you're shouting down the other side. We tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. And you tell me that I should love myself, but you don't know how it feels to live inside this body when no scrubbing can make clean. And your love is like a rain cloud, the water's pouring down. Just be my earth to stand on, and I'll save myself from drowning. 'Cause I know you want to help me, but you can't hear my voice. 'Cause you're shouting down the other side. And we tremble with the noise. I know you want to help me, but you can't hear my voice. 'Cause you're shouting down the other side. And we tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. We tremble with the noise. Thanks so much, everybody. Charlie's got a little notebook that I use to collect email addresses for when I want to come back to a place like this. So if you feel like keeping in touch, please fill it out. Look at both pages. There are two facing pages. One is a name. And the name is important because when I can't read your handwriting on your email, then I consult your name, and then I can usually figure it out. And then the city is in the middle. And also on the back, there is a QR code that you could use your phone to do this if you'd like. So thank you for your attention to this matter. I appreciate it. This is for my friends. One of the other guys that David and I made my last couple of records with, his name's Scott McFarlane. His family comes from the west coast of England. His mom in particular, and he and I used to tour a lot. And he'd tell me all these stories about this place that he loved so much. And eventually, I thought, I bet I could write a song based on Scott's memory of a place that I've never been. This is called MERSEYBEAT. You probably know that term. A lot of great music came out of Liverpool on the Mersey River. It goes like this. A calf was born. Her name was Daffodil. Across the river deep she sees St. David's Hill. Sir Walter sent his Yankee son. The world rhythms took him home. That MERSEYBEAT, it's a ballad slow for memories and for growing old. In the church they mourn poor Eleanor, and Jerry sings and he sings, don't walk alone, don't walk alone. Old is made of sandstone, tower stands. Old is May's Titan, it fell below. And the Kendricks work that noble soil. They sing and dance just like wild roses. That Merseybeat, it's a ballad slow for memories and for growing old. In the church they mourn poor Eleanor. Jerry sings, he sings, don't walk alone, don't walk alone. The lads and the ladies, all dressed in white, they cross the 100 in midday light. They promise join their houses line to dance in step in truest time. That Merseybeat, it's a ballad slow for memories and growing old. In the church they mourn poor Eleanor. Jerry sings, he sings, don't walk alone, don't walk alone. Thanks so much, everybody. Just gonna do a few more songs for you. I had might be a once in a lifetime opportunity about a year ago. My wife helped to start a nonprofit organization called the Reality Center. It serves people with disabilities in Durham, North Carolina, where we live. And her boss, the executive director, who is a dear friend of ours, had a really terrible tragedy in her family. And she had to withdraw and grieve for a while. And my wife, Julie, being second in command, had to take over and do two people's jobs and lead the organization through that period. And when our friend Susan came back, she said, you've had a lot on your plate. I think we need to have a sabbatical policy. And since Julie, among other things, is the HR director, she said, you need to write the sabbatical policy and then you need to take the sabbatical. With help from the board, they decided that based on seniority, how these things were going to play out, Julie was going to get 7 weeks to take off, which meant that I also needed to take 7 weeks off. And I was like, well, what's TikTok going to do without me? I mean, people forget about songs in like 30 seconds. What's going to happen to me if I disappear for 7 weeks? And my dear brother David, we were in studio sessions at that time when I was grappling with this terrible oppression of taking 7 weeks off and going on vacation. And he said, well, you know, we've made 3 records together. We're working on your 7th record now, all together, and you've been putting out a lot of stuff. You've been putting a lot of stuff out into the world for 12, 15 years. Maybe you could look at it like just getting some input. Go see the world and get some food, put some stuff in, and then see what comes out, you know. And I thought, wow, you're like a guru. I love it. And so I came back with some songs, and this one I wrote about my immigrant story. I went to Sicily, where my grandfather came from, and while I was there, I got the news of, this is 2025, February, March, April, springtime, early spring, late winter, and we're hearing about this guy, Kilmar Obrega Garcia, this immigrant from Maryland, dad, by all accounts, most reputable accounts, a guy who was just doing his, I think he was a drywall guy, fixing walls. And they took him to that mega prison in El Salvador, and I'm like, I'm on vacation in the Mediterranean? I couldn't feel okay about it. I struggled. What was I gonna do? What could I do? What could any of us do? This is me grappling with the helplessness. It's called Strawberry Ice and the World Burns, based on a cooking class. If you go to Italy, anybody been to Italy before? Did you take a cooking class? Nobody? Well, if you go back, take a cooking class. That felt like the most important thing I did. I learned to make granita. Granita is their Italian ice, but it's like homemade for one thing and sloppy. It's not like that hard as a rock stuff you get in the little cup in the supermarket. It's real messy, and they eat it for breakfast. And they take the day-old brioche bread, tear a hunk off and dip it, and that's how they eat the granita for breakfast. So here's my story and the story of granita and strawberry Italian ice. It was like this. Our Neolithic parents from La Marmota to Toulouse found the ripest, reddest berries with the seeds on the outside. No culinary masters, but they knew it when they tasted it. They ventured from their caves to forage life. Soil's dead. From the land between the rivers came the latest of the empires. Wise men from the east. They crossed the deserts in the heat with snow in tight containers and exploding balls of fire. They blessed their conquered enemies with rose petals on ice. So let's make granita, di fagiolo, while the world it ever burns, mixing strawberries and snow, just like the ones who came before. Our teacher sailed from Belfast. He was born amid the troubles, and he married a Sicilian to unite the island strong. Strawberries and sugar while the mountain fires burn. On the downy slopes of Etna flowed a stream of molten rock. They carved a cave where precious treasure hid. Climbers filled the cave with ice to shield it from the summer sun, and bless their lowland people with something cold to eat. When I was young, my grandfather would slice 5 pints of strawberries and season them with sugar, 'cause the kids like something sweet. Now here I am in Sicily, this rock that he was born upon. I'm slicing pints of strawberries to make sweeter and to freeze. So let's make granita, di fagiolo, while the world it ever burns, mixing strawberries and snow, just like the ones who came before. Our teacher sailed from Belfast. He was born amid the troubles, and he married a Sicilian to unite the island strong. Strawberries and sugar while those mountain fires burn. And they met in New York City. She was Irish, or at least we think. 5 brothers, sisters torn apart when Hoover got depressed. And they grew up each in foster homes. Found the others later on. MacGuffin was the name, that's what we know. He was born in High Malichi. Brothers, sisters were American, and their mother brought him home when she got sick. Now ICE, they're shipping family men to prison in El Salvador, and I don't know where you or I belong. So let's make Grenada D for Joel while the mountain fires burn, mixing strawberries and snow just like the ones who came before. Our teacher sailed from Belfast. He was born amid the troubles, and he married a Sicilian to unite the island strong. Strawberries and sugar, and there's fire in the streets. Strawberries and sugar while those wildfires burn. Strawberries and sugar while the world it ever burns. Thank you so much. That song means a lot to me. I'll play another one I brought home from my trip. This one mostly inspired by the plot of a movie I watched on the plane from Paris. I thankfully didn't have to figure out these logistics, but apparently if you try to go to Sicily, you can actually save some money by getting 2 different flights and going to Paris, and then getting another flight and going there and coming back instead of trying to pay for the same flight. I don't know why it works that way, but it does. So anyway, we took 4 days in Paris coming home, went and visited Montmartre, where all the artists have historically hung out, and did an art tour, and started to get my recollection of Pablo Picasso's story back top of mind, which I wouldn't have thought too much of, except that I encountered this movie among my choices on the in-flight entertainment, and it's called Lee, L-E-E. Has anybody seen Lee? It's for this woman named Lee Miller, who was a Vogue magazine fashion model back in the 20s, and then became a Vogue magazine fashion photographer, and then World War II broke out, and she became a surrealist war and Holocaust photographer, if you can believe there is such a thing. There is, at least if they were telling the truth in that movie.
I know the story. I know the
Yeah.
movie. I know the story.
Her son wrote a book about it, and they made the movie based on that. It's quite a story, and I got really fascinated by one of her friends, Solange Diane, who was she married into nobility. Her husband was a nobleman in France, and so he was part of the resistance against the Nazis, trying to hold them off. And she was the fashion editor and played a role because you've heard this story on the American side, but when the men had to go off to war, then a lot of women were taking factory jobs at that time, and they were getting harmed, if not killed, because their long hair was getting caught in machinery. And so Vogue magazine tried to make it cool and fashionable for women to wear short hair so that they would be safe in these factories. And so that's where, I don't know that the bob was invented, but the bob was like popularized at that time. Victory curls is another style, short style. So you'll hear a lot of Solange's story in this one. This is called The Fight for Freedom, was in Vogue. It goes like this. Let me just say one more thing that just occurred to me. Some of you might have heard Pablo Picasso's famous quote, "The only sane response to tyranny is to paint and to drink." and to write. They actually have him say this in the movie. They're hanging out at his place down on the Mediterranean coast in southern France, and they're getting news from reel-to-reel footage being apparently delivered to them, and they're watching it as a group of these surrealist artists from Paris in the basement of his villa or whatever it was. And that's when he says it. That's when he says, "This is the only sane response is to paint and drink and write." I needed it because I needed a sane response that I could feel not so helpless with. In the south of France, they're laughing in the warmest summer sun, topless round the supper table, amply unashamed. In Guernica, she cries out for a no more crying child. A lonely bird sings about how things just might be getting wilder. Dearly, with most unglamorous of covered up girl shots of nurses on the battered beach in bloody Normandy. A Viennese soprano sounds the saddest German wail when the Allied bombs brought down the house where Mahler's operas rang. She turns the camera on herself in Hitler's stately bath, and I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. And Pablo said the sane response to tyrants is to sing. Pablo said the sane response to tyrants is to sing. Solange, she's running photos on the cover of the magazine of women wearing little bobs and curls of victory to keep brave Rosie's glorious locks from getting all caught up in the Nazis' D-Day energy and war machinery. And the time it took Solange's boy to turn into a man, they locked her up in Freyna prison, his father in a camp. Their little prince, he went to fight the Germans at the border. In the Moselle Valley, there he fell, his father 6 months later. She turns the camera on herself in Hitler's stately bath, and I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. And Pablo said the sane response to tyrants is to sing. Yeah, Pablo said the same response to tyrants is to sing. The billionaires are waging war where we live and where we breathe, all human life and death at stake, in symbiosis with the trees. My firstborn, she got redeployed from the Mountain Forest Theater. They squashed her bold resistance in this genocide of nature. She turns the camera on herself in Hitler's stately bath, and I'm flying home to a bloodless revolution in America, remembering when the bloody fight for freedom was in vogue. And Pablo said the same response to tyrants was to sing. Pablo said the same response words to sing. David, you want to come up here and play one with me? David Wimbish, everybody, is going to join me. Y'all know who Woody Guthrie is, yeah? Anybody remember what Woody had on the front of his guitar, what it said? Big black lettering. Nobody remembers. This machine kills fascists. Wow. It's heavy. It's heavy. I honestly don't know what to do with it. Because some people I love, if they're not fascists, they're enabling fascists right now. And I don't want them dead. These are people I love, and I know Saturday Night Live tells me that there are a lot of us, because that skit would not be funny if there weren't so much of us dealing with that very thing. I like to think what he meant is that this machine turns fascists into not fascists, which is a much nicer idea, but also, if you're in my shoes, very intimidating and a lot of pressure. And I got to thinking, well, I mean, if I don't know what to do with this machine kills fascists, what exactly are we doing here? Why have we gathered in this room together? Why have David and I dedicated our lives to sharing songs? And this one's called This Machine Kills Loneliness. And I think maybe the solution to fascism is in making us feel connected to one another again. It goes like this. Festival grass, the national sings, anyone's goes. The third wheel spins toward happiness. You're not alone inside a song, 'cause the lightning goes to the holes in the middle, shocks a heart, another and another, pulls these bodies back. Rhythm, see the light and feel the pain. This machine builds tenderness. Know the darkness, make a wish. This machine kills loneliness. Strong in the Labor Day sun. Will that whiskey river drown your ears? Your eyes tell me you're listening, and your voice tells me they shed your tears when I sing you Bon Iver. We both know we are not magnificent, and that's enough to know. Inside a song, you're not alone. See the light and feel the pain. This machine builds tenderness. Know the darkness, make a wish. This machine kills loneliness. Riverbank, you ask me for a song. I search the sky for what you need, and I sing a song. Oh, man, you remind me when we meet. what's the bigger gift? See you or be seen. See the light and feel the pain. This machine builds tenderness. Know the darkness, make a wish. This machine kills loneliness. See the light and feel the pain. This machine builds tenderness. Know the darkness, make a wish. This machine kills loneliness. Thank you all so much. Thanks for being with me today. I'm Jesse from the Pickers and Ray. David Wimbish should be up. Do his set in a few minutes.